history is not the past. The past is messy, tangled, conflicting. History is what was allowed to remain. But what happens to the pieces of the past that were erased when they flattened it into one single story? My name is Stephen Joel Watts, and I believe that creativity at its very best is the act of remembering. Through creativity, we're connected to all that came before us and all the possible pathways of how to move forward. Creativity connects us to our power. At my table today, I asked you all, what does your past mean to you? I wanted to know, not just because it's random, but because it's something that I've been searching for in my own personal journey. When I was 24, I moved to Nashville to escape an abusive relationship. That person took everything from me, but so did leaving them. When I got here, I asked my mom, my dad, and my grandma, I asked them so many questions. Who was I? Where can I find those pieces of me that I had left behind? But they could not answer. I was faced with the silence. I had been raised to be a black superhero and save everyone around me, but now I was suffocating behind this mask. So I decided to write about my disconnection. And after I wrote this story, I reached out to 37 black artists from Chicago, Nashville, and New York City, these places where I've lived, and I asked them if they would join with me in telling the story. They saw that my pain lived within them too. And so they created pieces that are reflections of what I wrote. We tell the story together because we want to reckon with everything that we've inherited and restore ourselves to a more holistic truth. Everything you're about to see are my words. The pieces are from those artists. We talk about the fairy tales in which we were raised. Those were our very first glimpses of love. But in a world defined by ownership, how could the children of broken things believe we are enough? We talk about wrestling with the words that promised to set all people free, but they could not provide justice for the dead, so they could not bring my soul peace. Why did those words that brought paradise to others not provide value to me? We talk about those places that silenced us when we stayed, but then would also not let us go. They kept us quiet when we stayed. They would keep us strangers in our home. We talk about wandering until we find ourselves finally lost. Because when we accept being free, we gladly agree to that cost. So that story, I'm telling it in 3 different ways. Firstly, a physical magazine. I believe that story, until you hold it into your hands, is just words. I want you to feel its weight. Through a digital magazine, archiving this political and cultural moment, and those voices who know that collective memory is the highest form of imagination. And artist showcases, because I do not just want to tell you you matter, I want to create spaces where you can believe it too. So this is what I'm looking for today. These are the asks. This project emerged from the needs of community, so I'm grateful to be here today asking for community support. I'm looking for partners. I'm looking for local organizations like coffee shops and bookstores. When I was 18 and confused, or 24 and broken, those are the places I would go when I needed resources. If you are willing to invest in resources and sell this magazine out of your space, we need to talk. I'm looking for advocates. As teaching the history of this country becomes outlawed, it becomes a creative act of resistance to tell an alternative story of our past. If you are interested in that message and you're connected to a media platform, we need to talk. Lastly, I'm looking for sponsors. So far, I've raised 25% of my $20,000 goal. As you've seen already, we've done so much with so little, but that won't always be our story. If you're able to fund the future of this project, we need to talk. I leave you with an idea, mundane Afrofuturism. Though we as Black Americans were forcefully disconnected from our ancestors' past, that disconnection holds a story of its own. And now we have the opportunity to be patiently present with that past. That might just save our nation, but more importantly, it might save us.